Sushti, please can you enter the new participants? Sure, ma'am. Good evening, all of you. Welcome to the National Nutrition Month 2023, third week. And we had a session on first week on the boon of millet health. And second week, we had a session on the fruits, importance of fruits. And this week, we are going to take the nuts and seeds. Are we digesting it all? Right? And we are, all of you know that the importance, 1 second. Just I'm listening to this. Okay. All of you know that nuts and seeds how we are taking, and we want all of you want to improve their health benefit, and we are taking the seeds and nuts, right? But how we are taking the seeds and nuts, and how we can enhance the nutritional benefits according to the seeds and nuts with the personalization, right? So today we are welcoming our guest speaker, dietitian Sabha Samir. And Sabha Samir is a clinical dietitian, and she's also a certified diabetes educator. Now she is practicing in a UAE, and we are welcome to the Sabha Samir to take on this topic. Welcome to Sabha.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Padmaji, for the warm welcome. In fact, good evening, India. Okay, so I'm in UAE, so it's afternoon here for us. We celebrate each year. September in India is celebrated as National Nutrition Month, and with this year's theme saying healthy diet going affordable to all, which means ensuring that each and every Indian has the access to healthy diet, irrespective of their social economic status, their localized areas, their economic backgrounds. So today here we are here to talk about the importance of nuts and seeds. And often in India, it is thought that nuts and seeds is only a piece of cake for people who are having a high living standard, who can afford it well. But we need to understand that nuts and seeds are basically present in all our Indian kitchens, and we can readily make use of them. So Padmaji, first slide, share the screen. So these are the Okay, so this is the first slide. This is the nuts and the seeds that we are discussing today. Are we really digesting them right? So these are the popular nuts and seeds which are often present in our households, be it from chia seeds, sesame, which is still seed, pumpkin, hemp seed, flaxseed, makhana, roasted makhana, alsi is always there in most of our Indian households. Next slide. Okay, but now we'll stop here. While we are taking a lot of these slides, while we are taking a lot of these seeds and nuts on a daily basis, we are getting influenced by social media, a lot of influencers, celebrities talking about these nuts and seeds. And we randomly take them. But be careful before you go on and buy those nuts and seeds, which you don't keep in mind that some are there already in the kitchen, and you may go on a step ahead and you may buy those nuts and seeds, come back home and just take them. When you consume these nuts and seeds, you have to understand that they are going to the digestive system. So sometimes there are anti-nutrients also present in these seeds. Now, what are these nuts and seeds promoted as very healthy, antioxidant-rich foods? They are superfoods, they have protein, zinc, fiber, vitamin, you name it and you have it. All the seeds, they have everything. So you may want to buy them and say, okay, I want to follow a healthy diet, so I want to eat nuts and seeds. Yes, they should be a part of your healthy diet, but the way you take these nuts and seeds is equally important. Okay, so now what happens is this mother nature, is very smart. So every nut and seed is surrounded by some anti-nutrients, which is generally called as phytic acid. There are certain other anti-nutrients also. Now this phytic acid is present in the seeds and the nuts, covering them so that they don't sprout, they don't get rotten. They are high in fats. Okay, so they don't get. I mean, there's there's no oxidation of the fatty acids present in them, and the purpose that we are taking them for, healthy fats, is met. Okay. So next slide, ma'am. The same hold goods for our, this garam masala or seeds which is present in the kitchen, the dhania, zira, fennel, nigella, black pepper, methi, all of the seeds are the same thing. Generally, in our mothers, and we have seen our great grandmothers doing roasting the garam masala first before they make the masala powder, and then keeping it and then storing it. The reason being, it increases the shelf life. Okay. It also enhances the digestibility. Our great grandparents did not know about it, but they just did it. It helps to enhance the digestion. But how it does, we'll learn it here. Okay. So now what happens is, you have often seen that we soak almonds, we soak walnuts overnight, okay, and we drink them in the morning. We eat from that almond and walnut in the morning. We may soak dhania, zira, fennel, bariali, ये सारे पानी में भिगोते हो कई बारी रात को, सुबह में पीते हो. ये जनरल प्रैक्टिस है लोगों की, इंडिया में, बाकी सारी जगह पे. कई बार ऐसा होता है, you see that I am getting bloating, I'm getting digestive problems, I'm unable to digest these nuts and seeds. Now, what is the problem? You may ask a friend, or Professor Google is always there with us, right? So you will ask, okay, what is the problem? Why am I not able to digest these seeds and nuts? Some may give you different type of answers. Very simple, basic answer is because they contain phytic acid, an anti-nutrient which I spoke earlier. Okay, it surrounds the endosperms, and it does not allow them to get sprouted or deactivated. When you soak, you dry roast, or you ferment, or you eat it with a source of vitamin C, we are deactivating the phytic acid which is present there, so that the digestion is better. There's better absorption of nutrients. Okay, I will not be able to. There's better absorption of nutrients. The purpose of me or you taking those nuts and seeds is because we want zinc, calcium, magnesium, protein, etc., etc. But if my phytic acid is already present, if I don't dry roast them, if I just bring them from the store and consume them directly, or if I don't soak them for a adequate period of time, the purpose is not met. Instead, we are loading ourselves with a lot of calories and we'll be gaining a lot of weight. So which is always ignored, and we think that we are taking nuts and seeds, which is good. So when we dietitians often take a recall and we ask people how much nuts and seeds you are taking on a daily basis, they tell me a handful. Koi bolte hai katori. So they are really not knowing, and they take all the possible nuts and seeds available. It is ideally recommended that you visit your dietitian in person or get a suggestion from her so that they can guide you that how do you eat and what is the right time to eat these nuts and seeds. Next slide. So ideally, see in our Indian households, we are using lentils like rajma, chole, we are cooking with dals, and this is a regular practice that we are doing. So in सबको हम पहले भिगोते हैं कुछ घंटों के लिए, and then we cook it. Okay. So what are we doing? We are deactivating the phytic acid. We were always doing these things, but we really were not aware of कि हम क्या कर रहे हैं. Just because mom ने grandmother ने किया है या सास ने किया, हम वही follow कर रहे हैं. We were not aware कि what exactly we are doing. Ideally, all these things, seeds, pulses, legumes have to be soaked for a period of more than at least 4 to 6 hours, bare minimum. Okay, you soak them, you can drain the water, and then you can cook them. So it will deactivate the phytic acid. Now, phytic acid, having said that, is not really the culprit. Everything on nature, earth has, the mother nature has provided us is good and bad. So it does not mean phytic acid hai to kharab hai and raw nuts kha hi nahi sakte, bina soak kare hum kha hi nahi sakte. You can consume them, but on a daily basis, it's not a very good practice to just simply consume the nuts and seeds. The phytic acid is, by the way, is also an antioxidant. Okay, so when we learn about antioxidants are good and bad. So antioxidant ka function kya hota hai? To prevent oxidation of the cells. So phytic acid is also a type of antioxidant, so it's not that bad, but you have to accept it very carefully. So when we talk about almonds, ideally we soak almonds and walnuts overnight. Okay, generally we're soaking early in the mornings. We talk about chia seeds. Nowadays, chia seeds and flax seeds, which are actually native to India, but the West had adopted them, and again we are taking it back from them. Right? So these chia seeds and flax seeds have to be soaked nicely, carefully, washed, cleaned, dried, and you can then soak it for around say an hour or so, and then approximately 2 hours. Okay, so that the nutrient absorption is enhanced, and then when you take these seeds, because when you're taking them, they have other anti-nutrients which bind to them. For example, a typical example would be garden grass. The garden grass is alsi, so I don't have the picture here, but garden grass is super nutritious in iron. It's a very rich source of iron and a vegetarian source of iron. Okay. So now when I soak my garden grass, if I'm not a dietitian and I have been to a dietitian or Google, Professor Google, so they told me to soak garden grass seed and have it for iron anemia. So I soak my garden grass seed and I have 1 teaspoon of garden grass seed for anemia. After 2 months, when I repeat my iron, nothing major has happened. Now, what did I do wrong? I soaked the garden grass seed, but I did not soak it for a long time. Probably I did not eat the garden grass seed with a vitamin C source, because vitamin C, the nature has provided again vitamin C. All these citrus fruits are excellent. And the reason being they are coming in winters is because in winter we fall sick and everything, and we need to have a lot of vitamin C. So the winters are coming in. Please don't devoid and don't tell your kids not to have pineapple and vitamin oranges and mandarins. It is equally important. So when I take my garden grass seed with a source of orange, with maybe mandarin या जो भी आपके पास locally available है, उसके साथ क्या होगा, absorption better होगा. तो जो मेरा purpose था to eat it for iron, it is getting enhanced and I'm getting my full iron. So likewise, I have seen in India that we make garden grass kheer with calcium. Milk के साथ भी बनाते हैं. अब generally lactation के बाद में देते हैं. Post delivery will give to the mothers. Again, garden grass seed, iron, milk has calcium. दोनों का combination excellent. But what happens is ये iron और calcium बीच में जाके they are fighting inside the body. So ना iron absorb हुआ ठीक से, ना calcium absorb हुआ. So again, if you're taking a vitamin C rich food together, it is enhancing your absorption. Ma'am, the next slide. Okay. So now we will be taking question answers post this. So it's because we wanted to be very crisp and short. There are certain things that we should not avoid. Now, who should not avoid these? Certain people who are allergic. These seeds and peanuts, soya, almonds, they have certain allergens. Okay. So often when you read the labels, it is very important to read the labels. When you read the labels, they will say mention milk allergy, soya, peanut, etc., etc. So if at all you are allergic to certain substances, yes, of course you should avoid it, but you should rule out the possibility that you are really allergic to. Simply एक या दो बार अगर आपको कोई symptoms नजर आते, that does not mean you're really allergic to. You need to observe yourself carefully. There is an elimination diet that normally the dietitians will do. There is some test that the doctors are doing, and then you say, okay, I'm allergic to so and so food. I will not take it. Now, particular food, like example, flaxseed, walnuts, they are rich in omega-3, vegetarian source of omega-3. If I'm allergic to walnuts, so I cannot take walnuts, but that does not mean I cannot get my source of omega-3. So I can get my omega-3 source from other chia seeds, flax seeds. Nature has everything for us. We just have to find the right channel to get it. People who are very young, I mean, the toddlers, so often mothers feel that toddlers should be eating, when they're weaning them, they give them foods and fruits and nuts, everything. So try to dry roast them, make a powder, and then you give it accordingly. And the elderly population, because they have anyone who has choking issues, they should try avoiding the whole nuts and seeds. They should ideally grind them into powders and mix it into the preparations and have it. Ma'am, you'll take up the questions if they have. Ma'am, you're muted.
Ma'am, you're on mute.
I want to stop the screen share.
Or we can go to the screen share if they have questions regarding the soaking time and how they should drink.
Okay, we will take up the questions. Okay, again, you want to share the screen, Sabha?
In case they have any questions.
Okay, so I will take the question. If they need it, I will share again, right? Thank you for crisp and clear presentation, Sabha. So audience, if you have any question regarding the soaking the nuts and otherwise any doubt about the nuts and seeds, please raise your hand. We will take up the questions. Yeah, so Sabha, we have the one question from Rajkumar said. Rajkumar ji, what is the amount of seeds and nuts? Can you take it? Otherwise, I will.
Yeah. See, according to the guidelines, 15 to 20 grams of nuts can be taken on a daily basis. Okay. But as I said, you have to keep in mind your overall calorie content of the diet. Okay. We cannot afford to take nuts and seeds if I'm having a very high cal foods and I'm taking all the possible high calorie laden foods, and then I'm taking my nuts and seeds just because I want to follow a healthy diet. When we follow a healthy diet, we see to it that half of my plate is having vegetables. A portion of half or 1/4 of it is protein, which is basically if you're trying to have plant-based protein, it is best to have plant-based proteins. Another half is carbohydrate. A portion is dairy, and then in that gap we fill in the nuts and seeds. So a handful, maybe a 2 tablespoon of nuts and seeds would be ideal.
Yes, Sabha. And Satya Prasad is saying, could you please let us know whether the skin should be peeled before consuming, even after soaking?
Now, this is see in science, 2 plus 2 is never 4. So, okay, so in emergent science, there is always conflict about these things. Many people think that when we soak almonds, okay, we should peel them and consume them. Okay, there are other school of thoughts which believe that they can be consumed as long as they are soaked. They can be consumed because again the skin also has certain nutrients. Okay, so you can call it for yourself what you feel like. But I personally wouldn't remove the skin, but some others would want to remove the skin and consume it. Oh, ma'am,
Yes, Sabha. Yeah, I would like to add this point. See, we have the, if we know the process, already you are soaked or maybe you are dried, you know the proper how to take the seeds and seeds. For example, if you are having the almonds, right? But that is depending on the your digestive system also. Just observe your the gut, okay? Some people have the gut issues. They can maybe feel like they're bloating after taking the direct. If in that case, healthcare provider or maybe dietitian nutritionist will advise the you can soak the nuts and you can peel up the skin and you can have it. This is a totally up to depending on the personalizer. But if you we are normally recommended, you can soak before like already Sabha madam is given 12 hours of soaking, right? And we have lots of questions, Sabha. Prashant
that's why this
Kadi.
presentation was good.
Yeah. In seed rotation therapy, we use seeds like flax seeds and pumpkin seeds, etc. So do we need to soak them in seed rotation therapy as well? Yeah.
Okay, so very nice question. Interesting, in fact, See, as I said, no, in science, 2 plus 2 is never 4. It is never 4. What we studied in our years of graduation and now what we are practicing, and probably after 5 years, what I say today, maybe not holding true. There will be changes in that because every day there is new changes coming in. So when I'm talking about soaking, dry roasting, germination, fermentation, these are all methods and techniques to deactivate the phytic acid. Okay. So when we're having in seed cycling or otherwise also roasted nuts are available, like lactation vagera, maybe eat roasted nuts. So I'm not saying that phytic acid is bad, or I'm not saying don't take raw nuts. I'm saying try to dry roast them. If you can dry roast them and then consume, it is good. Because everything cannot be soaked, right? Everything cannot be germinated and fermented. Okay. So either of these methods you can adopt, and then you can consume your nuts and seeds.
Yes, Sabha. If we have any allergy, so we can soak them definitely, but we don't have any other issue. Just you can means sek means जो सेकना होती है ना, just a few seconds you can roast them and you can have it easily. And Rajkumar ji is saying, is it necessary that we take nuts in the morning only or any part of the day? This is also very interesting question, sir.
Before I, in connection with the first question, the roasting wala part, no, it is important to dry roast them at a very fine heat because they have labile fatty acids. Okay, the purpose of me taking walnut and almond is not only protein and not only fancy reason, na, कि मैं सुबह almonds and walnuts लेती हूँ, wow. It is also because I want to get the fatty acids from them. So if I'm dry roasting or people are frying in ghee, so then you are deactivating the fatty acid and you are destroying. So you're doing more harm to yourself than good. Okay. So dry roast is very बहुत बारीक आंच पे बहुत बारीक पतले से आंच पे dry roast है बहुत शांति से. In Western countries they do it in the oven. So whatever you feel like, but बहुत हल्की आंच पे. Okay, ma'am. The second question, the next question.
Same. Is it necessary that we take nuts in the morning only or any part of the day?
Okay. We can take nuts. Actually, we can take it any parts of the day. Okay. But ideally in the morning, why we say is that, we are believing that we don't want too much of carbohydrate intake early in the morning to, because there's a surge in the glucose and everything. So when you start your day, we generally tell to start, the first thing the body should get is water, plain water, sada pani. Okay. And there are so many other things, but that is case sensitive. Okay. So you have to meet a dietitian who will design something different for you. But sada pani, if you can drink, if again, you don't have any renal conditions, again, you talk to your doctor. But water is the first most important thing. And then nuts is second important because you get good healthy fats early in the morning. You get protein. Otherwise, we Indians have a tendency to eat a lot of carbohydrate-rich meals in the morning. So early morning, in the morning, we'll take a lot of carbs, and some people will put bread, butter, jam, and then you may skip your nuts. So agar hum bhul gaye morning mein, to mid morning or mid evening is also a good idea.
Yes, Rajkumarji, you can have other day also, but it is important that where you are including and how you are including your dates, sorry, not dates, nuts, right? If you are including only nuts, that is fine in the early morning. Otherwise, you can have with fruit or maybe in the mid-evening or maybe evening also fine. Is it okay to mix all the nuts and consume only one can? This is also very interesting question.
Padma ji, aap le lo. Or you want me to? I can do that. I can answer them. You can. You want me to answer?
First, you can add it. You can add it. Then I will add the points.
Yeah, we can see it's important. Mother Nature. I'm basically a staunch believer that we Indians are blessed with the nutrients and herbs and everything that we have possibly in our kitchens. Okay. And only what we're doing is we are westernizing ourselves. We should come back to our roots. Okay. So it is, if you have nuts available with you and you can mix them all, great. Okay. So you get different nutrients from different types of nuts because there is no one complete food. There are complete proteins. As a cheese hai jo complete proteins hai, like hemp seed is one of the seed which is a complete protein because it has all essential amino acids. Okay. But when you combine different foods together, you are bridging the gap between the deficiencies. इसे हम बोलते हैं ना cereal pulse combination, idli rice dal combination. So it's better to combine, but again your portion has to be kept in mind.
Yes, portion is also important, and your health condition also very important. If you are mixing 2 to 3 or maybe 3 to 4 nuts, if any one is not suitable to you, so that will may cause the indigestion, bloating also. So you look at your guide, and you can mix at least in my recommendation is in my practice, I will give the only up to 2 nuts only. One day these 2 nuts and another day 2 nuts, but it is not a harmful that you can mix 3 to 4 nuts also, but just you can observe your gut, right? And I hope no questions now. Rajkumar ji is saying thanks a lot. Thank you for asking these type of questions. So many people have the doubts, but they don't get the one expert answer, right? Any questions? Coaches, any inputs? Otherwise, we will wind up the session.
Very crisp and clear session, ma'am.
Thank you, Nirja. Again, Rajkumar is asking, during tea time, is it okay? We have lots of questions. Isha, Jaira, any foods to avoid with nuts other than caffeine? Sabha, can you take other?
Yeah, I can take. Any foods to avoid with that nuts other than caffeine. Okay.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. See, there's nothing as such that you should avoid. According to I'm talking about modern allopathy. Okay. So according to Ayurveda, there are different things, but you can have with coffee or you can have other things also. But see, there are anti-nutrients present. No, so that is the only reason we tell that don't eat too many things together. Like Padmaji already said. No, so we don't know what is not going right to you, and also we have to keep an eye on your gut. Okay, so if you're taking too many things together, or if you're taking too many foods together, and if you have a digestive issue, you will not be able to pinpoint or really tell, what is the issue what is the food that caused the digestive upset or other concerns. And also for the nutrition's sake, caffeine, tea, even green tea. People drink a lot of green tea. Green tea is good, fine. As I said, everything is good. Everything is good, everything is bad. Okay, so green tea is good, but अगर हम इतना ज़्यादा green tea लेंगे कि वो हमारे जाके body में, it binds, they act as binders, no? So they bind with other minerals and it does not let in the absorption. तो वो green tea भी किसी काम का नहीं है. हम सिर्फ, we are thinking on a tubular approach of weight loss. Healthy eating is what? Simple, basic food. Proper our food, whatever food we are used to, eating since my childhood or my great grandparents, I can make changes in that. But we need not, complete a switch. So we are moving to caffeine, decaffeinated coffee with nuts, butter coffee, all these things are there. But be careful, these also have anti-nutrients present. So only that is, I think that is the only reason. Otherwise, the gut also plays a very important role. Padmaji, you would like to add?
Yes, Rajkumar ji, I hope you all got the answer. During tea time, is it okay? No, after the some time you can have it, because we are adding tea also. Na? Tea have the anti-nutrients, right? Caffeine ka jo bhi hota hai, because everybody not have the same issue. That's why we are not saying the, in general we can't allow, but in personal, if you are asking any healthcare, your history, okay, all together. So that time, if that healthcare provider say it's okay for you, so you can have it. But usually we don't allow nuts with the caffeine, right? Two combinations. And also one more point for in this nuts and seeds. Okay, all of you, first you can look at the second slide. That is the kitchen ingredients, right? Kitchen spices. So Sabha is very well explained, right? We all of you know that in previous, right, in our traditional, and now also we are just to dry roast anything, because that will we can for not only texture flavor purpose, also we are preventing the anti nutrient जो भी tannin होती है fatty acid उसको prevent करने के लिए we are doing that. But you can take the very less time. Already Sabha is explained very well, right? So all these are the included in our day-to-day life. If you are taking the in healthy way, right? If you are taking in moderate amount, not a less, not a excess. So, and also Sabha, you want to add about the chia seeds, what we are discussed, chia seeds and sabja seeds.
The one we discussed in the morning. Okay.
Yeah, yes.
See, no, okay, now you know what I'm telling. It's not that I'm anti-West or something. Chia seeds is good. Okay, it has all the omega-3 fatty acids, proteins, and everything. But when I was young, I did not know what a chia seed. What I knew is sabja, tukmalanga. Okay, and my mother gave me tukmalanga and in jaggery water, har cheez mein, no, faluda and everything. So I grew up with sabja and tukmalanga. Recently, I think 5-10 years back, we came to know there is something known as chia seed also. Okay. So now, if we can afford to buy chia seed, great. They have all the proteins and nutrients and omega-3. They are a very good source of omega-3. But if I cannot afford to buy chia seed, someone, suppose my maid, okay, now my maid, I cannot tell her to, or my house help, I cannot tell her that chia seed, almond, walnut, le lo ab jaake. She will, ditch me only tomorrow. Okay. So what she can do is, sabja is very readily available. Okay. You can go to the local supermarkets. You can buy sabja, just faluda. It is from the same family. Okay, so it has fiber. Now, why we are saying sabja and all these things? Because the fiber is present in them. We are not taking a lot of fiber. Irrespective of we eating plant-based foods, if you see our caloric intake, we are not taking a lot of, we are taking only carbohydrates. Our fiber intake, protein intake, बहुत ही कम होता है. Okay, so when we supplement as dietitians, and it's a generalized statement. Again, as Padmaji said, it is case-to-case basis. One X patient of mine I cannot give him chia seed, and B patient of mine I cannot give him almonds. Okay, so you have to be very careful. There's a fine line. So this sabja and chia seed, they have this fiber. Okay, and this fiber is soluble fiber, and they also have a mix of soluble and insoluble fiber. So अगर आपको cholesterol issues है, weight gain का issues है, कोई और problems है, तो ये fiber आपको help करेगा sugars control करने में, lipids control करने में. So अगर chia seed नहीं मिलता है जहाँ आप रहते हो, जाके सब्जा ले लीजिए, वो मात्र 5 या 10 रुपीस के अंदर आ जाएगा अच्छा खासा. फिर देखेंगे chia seeds के लिए. Okay, and if you can afford chia seeds, great.
Yes. Thank you, Sabha. And one more thing I want to add here. If you have any autoimmune disorders, like any Hashimoto's thyroid, other maybe psoriasis, or maybe other condition, so just you can connect with your healthcare provider, dietitian, nutritionist. In that case, we need to analyze it, because some seeds and nuts will cause the allergic, but you don't know, right? What is the reason behind that? So just this is not every person have the same issue, but most 90% people have some seeds, some nuts, or maybe something. So you can just connect with your dietitian and nutritionist, right? This is my advice in my practice.
Padmaji, here also for seed cycle, there was a question on seed cycle. See, seed cycle is there on the internet also, but it has to be followed along with healthy eating, physical lifestyle changes, and then you cannot simply take seeds and say, okay, my periods will be regular and everything. You have to have a healthy, well-balanced diet. Physical activity is very, very important. Without physical activity, nothing. Physical activity does not mean you enroll into a gym. Simple walking of 30 to 45 minutes daily. Basic walking is also very important. And then that seed cycle will work. Okay. Otherwise, I don't think anything will work. There's no superfood.
Yes, right. Thank you, Sada, for your valuable time, and thank you everybody for joining this beautiful session. And we will meet another session in next week with another coach. Thank you for joining, and have a beautiful Sunday. Happy Sunday also. Okay, bye all of you.
Thank you.
Saba,
Thank
you want to say anything? Last note?
My pleasure addressing everyone on National Nutrition Month in spite of not being in India. If you have any concerns, you all can connect with me, Padmaji. We can help you out. But again, I said it's best to meet a specialist before you get into any practices of taking these nuts and seeds or any food for that matter. Okay, take care. God bless.
Yes, and I hope all of you there in National Nutrition Month WhatsApp group. If anybody will not there, Nirja, please can you share the WhatsApp link here? Just
We miss on hydration. Hydration is equally important. Otherwise, we'll find constipation coming in.
just give me 1 second. Srushti or Nirja, because my okay. Thank you, Nirja. Okay, Nirja madam, I shared the WhatsApp link. Okay, if you can join that link if you are not there, and any question regarding about the seeds and nets, otherwise the previous session, go to the link and you can comment, and also here you can ask. We will ready to give the. We will take up the all questions. Right. Thank you again. Okay, bye all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.